670 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
All right, 4 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. We have a lot of experts on our show, and every time we have an expert, I always ask myself, what am I an expert in? What the heck? What is it that somebody would want to interview me about? You know? Well, I do know how to reheat food pretty good. I'm pretty good at reheating food. So
well, there you go.
However, the book we have today does include my area of expertise in reheating food. It's probably only one page. Stop murdering your houseplants. Reheat leftovers without ruining them. That's my specialty. Don't owe your arm and your leg to credit. Okay, I got to read that one. Card debt. I got a lot of that. And dodge 500 other common pitfalls of adulting. Oh, I love that. On the phone is Aviva Patz. She's the deputy editor at Reader's Digest Online and the former executive editor at Psychology Today. I think this book is written by Laura Lee. It's called Avoiding Everyday Disasters. Good morning, Aviva. Thank you for coming on the show with us today.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
This is a fun book, but I do not need it for one particular area. I am pretty good at reheating food.
Great.
maybe
How about the 500 other points?
Maybe I'm doing it wrong, though. Maybe I need to read it. Maybe I'll look at it and go, oh, well, that's not how I do it. Where are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm in New York.
Wow, everybody's in New York today.
I love that.
Is it snowing in New York?
It's not snowing today, but there was snow yesterday.
I heard that,
and now it's icy, so it's a little bit of a mess.
Hey, what is that thing in Times Square? That round thing with the heart in the middle. What is that?
I think it's for this Valentine's Day social media thing. I couldn't tell you beyond that.
You haven't gone down there. When you live in New York, you don't go down there. Yeah, I know.
You try not to, yeah.
Yeah, because those guys in those Mickey Mouse costumes are nuts. All right.
No, they are. They're scary.
Well, it's the traffic you're trying to avoid.
All right, so tell me about the book, Avoiding Everyday Disasters. What kind of disasters will be avoided if we take to heart what's in the book?
Well, these are minor fails. These are things that are frustrating and yet completely avoidable. Like we said, the pitfalls of adulting. Like you don't have to water your plants to death or spill coffee on your clean white shirt. You don't have to sabotage the batteries in your remote control or shrink your favorite sweaters. So it's just, little things that you could screw up and you don't have to screw them up.
Rock, paper, scissors has been in the news lately, and we even spoke to a championship winner of that game, and you address that in the book too.
Really?
Is it possible to be a winner?
Well, I don't know if we can guarantee a win, but we've got some intel that can give you an edge. So the main thing to know is that people's moves are not really random. They actually are following some patterns, and here's what's been observed. So if you're playing with someone who's new, they're going to go with rock because they think rock is the strongest move. So they're very likely to put that out first. So if you're playing with a rock, paper, scissors rookie, you know that they're going to throw a rock, so your move is
Paper.
Rock. Paper, right,
Paper.
because paper covers rock.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're playing with a pro who knows that rock is for rookies, you're going to open with scissors because you'll either cut his paper or tie his scissors.
Oh, my
now,
gosh.
I've got 4 pieces of intel for you on that, and one is that people hate being predictable, so they'll almost never throw the same move 3 times in a row, and you can use that to your advantage. So if someone throws paper twice, you can be pretty sure that their next move is going to be rock or scissors, and you're ready. You're going to be ready for that.
Oh, my.
Nice.
Have you
So
tried?
one more thing for you there, and then this is funny. It's about the sore loser dynamic. So if your opponent loses the last round, she will most often come back by throwing the move that would have beaten you the last round. So she should have brought scissors last time. You can bet she's going to bring scissors this time.
Wow. I love this. I'm remembering.
All right, here's something that you cover in the book. Robin and I, let's say, are standing outside waiting to cross the road, and somebody pulls over and rolls down the window and says, "Excuse me, can you tell me how to get to whatever?" Right? Robin will tell them, and I'll tell them, and all of a sudden we're telling them 2 different things. And she will always say, and she'll always use landmarks. Do you take a left?
Yeah.
Take a left at the park, take a right at the train station, right? And I don't know what to tell them. I said, I don't know. I'm not really sure. I think it's on 4th Street. I'm not sure. So what is what is the advice there? It sounds like you should use landmarks, right? Like Robin is doing it, right?
Well, it really depends. It depends on what you're navigating. In a place like New York City, where the streets are numbered in many neighborhoods, it makes sense to use the numbers, right? Everybody knows how to get from 21 to 28. But in a place where there aren't quite as many roads that make sense, where if you're in a big wide open space and the biggest thing you can see is a McDonald's, then it makes sense to use that as the landmark. You just have to know where you are.
That makes sense, yeah. Well, in Ocala, you can say, turn right at the guy on the corner with the megaphone preaching the gospel.
Yeah, he's always there.
Hey, whatever's most prominent in your environment, that'll work.
You talk about green olives. I love olives.
Well, that's good. That's good for you in case you get motion sickness. So.
Oh, really?
Yes, because when you're queasy, you produce more saliva, and it slides down into the stomach. At the same time that the stomach lining is clenching, this terrible combination gives you motion sickness. So there's an old wives' tale that chewing green olives prevents seasickness because olives have a high level of tannins, which can dry out the mouth. So if you dry out your mouth, you don't have as much saliva slipping down into your stomach, and then you're less likely to be motion sick. And I got to say one more thing that helps as someone who is chronically motion sick. Look out at a non-moving target at 45 degrees above the horizon, because that will help eliminate some of the confusion you have going on between your brain and your body. Because your brain, your body doesn't feel like it's moving, but your brain knows you're moving. It's very complex, but that will help solve some of that confusion.
That is amazing.
Let's see. You have a way to tell which water glass is your water glass at the dinner table. This happened just the other day.
Oh.
We went out with your mother, remember?
Yes.
And there was a water glass, and I saw you looking at it, and I knew it was mine. But I figured, well, it doesn't matter, really.
Well, there are a lot of different things you can do about that. But, one is to mark it with a glass marker. Another one is to put something on it that makes it look like yours, like a rubber band around the stem. There are many different ways to mark a glass to show that it's yours. And it's pretty smart because there is pretty nasty flu going around, and you do not want to accidentally pick up something, especially because you don't always know that somebody's sick. And they don't always know they're sick till the next day they wake up, with fever and chills. So you really want to pay attention to which glass is yours.
One of the things that's really, really useful, and everybody who needs a good credit score, you just have to read 3 pages here, and you'll be able, if you follow these rules. You have the Don't Ruin Your Credit Score chapter, I guess you would call it. And it's really good. And I know, I don't know this as well as I do heating up food, but, but I know this because I myself am currently in the process of improving my credit score. So I listened to this guy on the radio called Clark Howard. Have you ever heard of him, Clark Howard? No, you don't.
Oh, you talk about clamshell packaging.
Yeah, well, this is a formidable beast, the clamshell packaging. But you know what is a match for it is your can opener, believe it or not. So just go get your can opener and open one side of the package as if it were a can.
Oh.
And it's amazing, right? The opener won't go all the way around the corners, so repeat it on the other side, and then you'll have enough room to wedge a utility knife in there and just pop that baby right open.
I know what you mean by clamshell packaging.
My gosh.
I was trying to figure out what is that. Now I know what you mean. That's super hard plastic.
Yeah.
That's right.
Why did they even use that? I don't even know.
The stuff will not budge in there, right? So they know that their product is going to be pristine.
Yeah.
This is such a wonderful book that keeps people interesting. What is one of your favorites in there?
One of my favorites, literally a tip I use every single day, every time I drive home from work when it's dark and I'm getting blinded by these headlights of oncoming cars, instead of just cursing and getting lights burned in my brain,
that's what I do.
I gaze down and slightly to the right, and I use the lines of the road to guide me until I can look back. It sounds so simple, but it is a lifesaver.
That sounds dangerous to me.
You know, you would think that it was, but it actually completely isn't, because you can still see from with your peripheral vision the cars in front of you, and really you're only going to be looking down for seconds or fractions of seconds at a time.
Yeah, that's when you hit something.
I gotta try this.
All right.
Only if you're following too close.
Wait, reheating leftovers. Let me see if I do it right. Don't always go for the microwave. Okay, but I do always go for the microwave.
Okay, well, then if you're going to go for the microwave, here's a tip. So lots of times things like rice and turkey come out tasteless and dry. So what you want to do is you can do one of two things. You can add a small mug filled with water in with your stuff in the microwave, and it will steam up in the microwave and help rehydrate your food. The other way, and this is what I like to do, you dampen a paper towel and put it over your food, and it releases steam and rehydrates the foods while they're cooking. Or reheating, as the case may be.
Oh, what a great idea!
See, and I was using the get over it technique. I would be eating something like a dry piece of something, or something got too hard in the microwave, and I'll just eat it and say, "Get over it." It's just
right. So it's rubbery, it's soggy, whatever.
I love this book. This is great.
This is fun.
It does have a lot of great tips.
Reader's Digest: Avoiding Everyday Disasters. I have a copy. Call me if you want the copy. The rest of us have to go buy it. I found it on Amazon, I think. You have a website. Is it rd.com?
We do have a website. rd.com has lots of amazing tips every single day, but we also have a website, Avoiding Everyday Disasters, where you can buy the book.
Okay, excellent. Aviva, you have been very, very fun. Thank you so much for being on the show with us today.
Thanks so much for having me. Take care.
All right, we'll be right back.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Stock cars with nearly 800 horsepower come by the start-finish line in front of a sellout crowd to begin the Great American Race.
It's happening again. WOCA is giving away 2 tickets to the 2018 Daytona 500. Call now for your chance to win.